Yaya Gosselin, welcome to Fancounters. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Now, we are all still staying at home. Feels like we're in quarantine and everything. So how's that going for you? I know you have two sisters. Is everybody still getting along at your house?
Yes, thankfully. I think there's definitely been a lot of bumps in the road, but I think we finally found our groove.
Sounds good. So, Elizabeth, you can take two.
Okay, all of a sudden I lost audio.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, it's my world.
Can you hear us now?
Okay. We're going to talk about FBI's Most Wanted in a little bit, but when this COVID-19 pandemic hit, you were in the middle of filming the current season, correct?
Yes. I was home when the lockdown happened, but I was scheduled to fly out to New York a week after that.
Okay.
And how do you think that's going to affect the continuity with the show? Do you think we're going to be able to pick right back up? Maybe people won't be looking the same as they did when they first left off. How do you think that'll work?
Honestly, I don't know. I am definitely hoping, though, that FBI gets a season 2.
Well, we're excited to talk to you today because after watching you in several of my favorite shows, you are becoming a very big star. And it's obvious, it was probably obvious to your parents when you were only 2 years old that the acting bug had hit you from what I read. Is that right?
Yes, and I'm very thankful that they noticed that.
And what was it about what you were doing at 2 and 3 years old that made them say, hey, we have to pursue this for you?
I think I was just always a performer. I just always wanted to perform in front of people. That was what I loved to do. And then I think they realized we need to find some way that she can really showcase this.
Okay. Now, Rick, when we're talking about this, Nick does a really good job of researching our guests. It's one of the things that we pride ourselves on. And he has discovered that Yaya is not your actual given name. So what is your birth name?
My birth name is Felicita Leon.
So where did Yaya come from?
I am named after my great-grandmother, Felicita, and her siblings could never say her name, so they called her Yaya. And when I was in my mother's stomach, she wanted to call me Fifi for short. But when I came out, they didn't think that it kind of stuck, so they just called me Yaya.
Okay.
Still you.
Well, I see. According to IMDb, which we know is not always right, your first role was with Jennifer Gardner film Peppermint, and you played Juan Pablo's daughter. I'm going to do that whole question again. Okay? According to IMDb, which we know is not always right, your first big role was with the Jennifer Gardner film Peppermint, and you played Juan Pablo's daughter. Do you remember getting the job? And tell us about that experience when you first got it.
I was definitely excited when I booked the job. And I was kind of freaking out all over the place. I remember writing on the script, my audition script, I booked it! And it was definitely a crazy experience because in the one scene that I was in the movie, there was a whole gun shooting happening. And it was really loud, and I needed earmuffs. But I think that the experience was awesome.
Great.
Now, did you meet Jennifer Garner? How did that encounter go?
Yes, I did meet Jennifer Gardner, and it was really cool. I forgot to ask for her picture because I kind of chickened out a little bit, but...
Oh my gosh. Well, that's all right. Now, Elizabeth doesn't like scary movies, but I definitely do. I'm a huge fan of the Purge TV series where you played young Penelope for a flashback scene. And while the scene was fun, it wasn't scary at all. It had you playing in a blanket fort, so I'm assuming that part of it was fun. So my question about this stuff is, because you're in some of these very grown-up type shows, do your parents let you watch the work that you've done? Are you watching the whole episode? Like, how does that work?
No, the answer is no, because one, I am a huge scaredy cat, and two, I guess there really is no two, but I do.
There's a girl after my own heart.
I do watch my scenes though.
Okay. Sounds good. So are you happy with the way stuff has so far has been put together, like in Peppermint and in Purge? Were you excited to see yourself on on the screen?
Yes, I definitely was. And it took about a year to come out, so I looked way younger in the film than I did when I watched it. So it was kind of crazy to watch how much I grew from the time that I filmed it to the time that it premiered.
And are you ever in awe about how your filming experience was based on how it got edited together? Are you ever critical about that? Like, oh, I remember we did this and they didn't include it.
Yeah, I actually had a scene in Peppermint where I talked a pretty good amount and they cut it out.
Oh.
But I think that, yeah, honestly, I'm not too sad that they didn't edit it in because it would have made my dad look too soft. So I kind of understand.
Okay.
So, do you watch yourself on TV or on your shows? Like, do you sit down and watch a whole episode of something?
Yes.
And what do you enjoy seeing how they look, or do you ever wish you could go back and go, oh, I wish I hadn't done that, or oh, I wish I could correct that? Do you do that?
I'm not too critical about myself, but sometimes I do see lines that I say where I could have been like, oh, I could have said it like this, or maybe I could have said it like that, and that would have sounded better. But I think overall, I'm always happy with how it turns out.
Okay.
Our listeners are always fascinated, especially the young listeners, to hear from their young people that they look up to about being in the public spotlight. And you're one of those people who are growing up literally in the public spotlight where people are kind of paying attention to your career and that kind of thing. So if we ask your mom or dad if you're very grounded and just a normal kid, would they say that maybe, oh, sometimes she forgets that she's, part of this family and has to do chores? Or how do you fit into your family and do you stay grounded?
Yes, I think I am very grounded. When I read the question, I thought that you meant, do I get grounded a lot? And I would have said yes. I am actually grounded right now. But yes, I definitely make sure that when I'm with my relatives, I'm just a part of the family, nothing really too special about me. Because I think if I did do something like that, it would kind of be weird. And I mean, I'm just a normal girl. I mean, at least I think I'm normal. I know a lot of people look at my life and don't think that my life is normal, but my life is my normal, so.
That's true.
So when we're talking about normal, do you find that, you're 11, do you find that people want to be friends with you because you're on TV, or do you find that your friends act differently because you're on TV? How do you deal with friendships?
Thankfully, nobody has really wanted to be friends with me only because I'm on TV. But I think my friends, and a lot of my friends are actors too, so I think that helps. But the friends that I have that are not actors, they understand and they think that I'm so cool and they want to be friends with me because of who I am and how I am and not because of my public self.
Cool.
Have you ever run into a situation like that where you weren't sure about somebody or that somebody was
Yes.
playing that angle?
I've definitely had those situations before. LA is definitely filled with some interesting people. So let's just say that.
And you're in Texas right now, right? Where you live?
Yes.
Okay. Another show that dealt with sensitive topics was the Netflix release 13 Reasons Why. And I have not seen that show. I don't know. Elizabeth, have you seen it? No, she's shaking her head no. Well, I did see your scene on YouTube. So can you tell us a little bit about your role of Graciela and in that episode, and maybe a little bit more about your experience being on that show and the hype that surrounded it? Did you get involved in any of that?
I think that my experience was amazing. I got to tour the school and the set of 13 Reasons Why. That was pretty cool. And I was also really excited to meet Christian. I think my mom was too because she kind of freaked out a little bit. And I think that, yeah, it was awesome.
Did you watch the show from the beginning?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
That
Okay.
show is way too old for me.
So one of the best ways that the acting community judges itself is by awards. And you happen to have been receiving an award for one of your performances. It happened earlier this year at the Sunny Side Up Film Festival, where you won Best Child Actress for a film you starred in called Lord Finn. Tell us a little bit about the film and also your experience about winning the award.
Okay. So when I got the award in the mail, because I couldn't really be there, I was so surprised because I filmed Lord Finn when I was 6 years old.
Oh my
Or
God.
7 years old, sorry, 7 years old. So that was a while back. So if I'm being completely honest, I don't remember too much. I do have a great memory, but I don't remember a lot about it. But I definitely can say that booking my first film, it actually filmed in Oklahoma, so that was the first time that I kind of got to travel for work, which was pretty cool.
Very fun. Can I ask you a question? I hate to stop in the middle, but do you have headphones?
Yeah, yes, I do.
I'm really sorry. Would you be willing to get them? And can you try plugging in just because there's so much feedback? And I'm sure it's because it's catching what's coming out of your speakers.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, Mom, thank you.
I really appreciate it. I should have stopped earlier and I thought, well, maybe we can deal with it. And then it keeps getting worse.
Yeah. Thank you.
I would regret. Oh, can you hear us okay now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'd regret if I didn't ask you to do that. So, all right. So let's move on to a current show. Your acting not only brings your... Wow, that was not where I thought we were going. Okay, and I wrote this, so... Your acting not only brings you work experience, but life experience. Your most current and active project is the CBS hit drama FBI and FBI Most Wanted. You play Tali LaCroix, the daughter of an FBI agent that's played by Julian McMahon. Now, because you play such a lead role in many episodes, does your family kind of have a watch party each time you're on?
Yes. My sisters are younger, so sometimes they'll come out of the room because it is a little violent. But yes, we do have a little bit of a watch party after dinner. We all kind of circle around the television, and yeah, it's really great. It's really great family time too.
So with these TV dramas, sometimes we see that they use real life scenarios. And like we saw a few weeks ago when the immigration officers put all the illegal immigrants into what I can only describe as a cage. I know that you were only filming that for a show, but what were you thinking personally as you were playing one of those people who were locked up, even though it was an accident?
I think it was crazy just to think about that this happens in real life and how people feel and I also think that it helped because it helped me really portray how my character was feeling in that moment, thinking, my dad's FBI, he's probably going to come get me, but what if he doesn't come in time? Like, actually feeling scared. And I think that really portrayed in the episode. So.
And I think that and obviously all of Dick Wolf's productions do a really good job of not giving away what's going to happen at the end. And in that particular episode, when he didn't know where you were, first of all, as a parent of twin 8-year-olds, I could not even imagine not knowing where my young child is and what's happening to her and that kind of thing. So that portrayed out really well. And just the reaction, your relationship with him, even when you're playing at the house and stuff, it really comes and builds that so that that the audience is concerned about what happens to your character. And I think that's kind of great the way they did that. Now, we love hearing behind the scenes stories about what goes on when the camera stops rolling. Do you have any funny or weird stories that might have come to mind while you're filming?
Oh, okay. So when I was filming a scene in a Chinese restaurant, which that is probably the last episode that I'll be in, and you guys have not seen that yet. We were in a Chinese restaurant, and the chef couldn't believe that a show was filming in his restaurant, so he cooked like this huge feast for all the crew and cast, and I ate all of it. Looking back on it, I kind of feel bad, but I mean, it was really good, so it was worth it.
Awesome. Luckily, we're going to have a few weeks before this will air, so probably the episode you're talking about will have aired by then, because I think we're on May 29th or something. But does that mean, and we don't have to leave this in if you can't, but does that mean you're not coming back to the show?
I don't know.
Okay. Never know. All right. Well,
okay. We know that sometimes you can't answer the question. We know.
Yeah.
Okay. So going along with that, on Fan Counters, the whole point is to hear about different kind of fan encounters or fan stories. So have you met any of your fans And do any of them stick out in your mind as giving you like something that was nice or funny or creepy?
I have not met any of my fans. A lot of my fans are online. But things that my fans make me are edits and Funimate videos of me and my dad and my character, Tally, and it's really awesome to see how they put that together.
So you've never actually had a one-on-one encounter with somebody who recognized you?
No.
Okay. Next time you come back, if you come back, you can tell us about when that does happen. I'm sure it'll happen.
Hoping it happens soon.
So you haven't signed an autograph yet, is that what you're saying?
Well, I have signed, I'll be very honest, I've signed autographs from like family members and stuff and, friends of friends, stuff like that.
Now, do people send stuff in the mail, like gifts and stuff? Have you gotten anything weird?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about school because I have a 10-and-a-half-year-old, almost 11-year-old here. And because of the coronavirus, we are homeschooling, as I'm sure you might be right now. Do you normally homeschool or are you just homeschooling during this epidemic?
I am homeschool. I do homeschool. I've homeschooled since the 3rd grade. And I think it's crazy to finally see that everybody's coming into my world and what online school really looks like. And then being like, I don't know, like, this is so crazy. And like, this is what I do with every single day.
Yeah, I don't like it.
My mom was definitely a little frustrated at first, but I think at the end I think it's pretty cool.
And she's doing that for your sisters too?
Yes, which is a lot.
Are you already done with school? Because some of my friends who actually really truly homeschool are done.
Yes, I am done with school.
Okay.
Our favorite meme is the one that says, when do we find out what teacher our kids get next year? I hope it's not me again.
Yeah, I am praying to God every day that it's not me again.
When you are filming an episode of FBI Most Wanted, walk us through when you're on set and, obviously if you're traveling to a location, you're staying in a hotel. Mm-hmm. So from the time you get up, what's a typical day like for you when you go to work?
Okay. So my call times are always kind of all over the place. It's not really a specific time every single time. But I usually wake up 30 minutes to an hour before I go on set, because it's kind of like my me time before I go to set. And because of hair and makeup, I don't really do a lot in the mornings, just brush my teeth and wash my skin, and that's pretty much it. And then usually they have breakfast ready for me on set when I get to my trailer, and then I'll kind of look over my lines, and then hair and makeup happens, and we usually chat with them for a little while because they're kind of like my buddies, and then get dressed and go to rehearsal. And then depending on how much the camera needs to be set up and how the lighting is, usually we'll go straight to filming, or we'll go back to the trailer and wait until all the cameras are set up. And then usually before or after that, I have to do school for 3 hours.
Okay.
And then when I go home, depending on if I have to work the next day or not, I'll go straight to bed because it would have been a long day.
And where are you filming those episodes? Is it New York or is it Georgia?
Yes, it is New York and sometimes New Jersey.
Okay. And walk us through a little bit about how you got the role, the audition. What did you have to do to get it?
Okay. This is actually a funny story. I coached for the role during my 10th birthday party, right during the middle. My mom said, hey, Yaya, you have to go coach for 15 minutes. Sorry. So I went to the back of my bedroom and had to coach. And then I got the role. My first reaction when I found out I got the role was, do I get to work with the bird? Because on the first episode that I ever filmed, I worked with a hawk, which is pretty awesome.
I remember.
Yeah, Daredevil, or Wally, I guess. And then, and then I watched the original FBI, because FBI Most Wanted had not come out yet. The original FBI, which already had a complete season going on, I watched it. I binged it in about 3 days.
Awesome. Well, let's move on to a different subject. You've got a movie coming out. Elizabeth has some details on that.
Yes.
No, you do.
Oh, that is me. Never mind. Well, let's move on from that because you've got a movie coming out. You just finished up a feature with David Arquette was in the movie. It's called Dr. Bird's Advice for Sad Poets, and you play a younger version of Lily Donohue's character, Jory. So tell us a little bit about this film.
This film, I mean, from the scenes that I filmed, I think it will be amazing. The scenery is incredible, and I am very excited for it to come out.
Do you think it'll be a theatrical release, or are we talking straight to DVD, or what kind of movie is this?
I honestly don't know.
Okay. That's all right. So that's something we can look forward to. Again, it's called Dr. Bird's Advice for Sad Poets. And now Elizabeth can tell us about the next project.
Yes. We Can Be Heroes is another Netflix project that you've, we're going to do that all over again. I'm terribly sorry. We Can Be Heroes is another Netflix project that you've got coming up where a group of children have to team up to save their superhero parents. Have you started filming that yet?
I actually filmed it last summer.
Ooh. Wow. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Oh, I don't know if I can say too much about it, but it's definitely going to be an amazing film. Robert Rodriguez is incredible. And yeah, I'm really excited for it to come out.
Okay. So although the virus has kind of thrown us a curveball here, you are done filming with everything and you are done with school for the year. So do you have any summer plans, or do you think you're going to be able to do anything this summer?
Either she froze or she's thinking.
I think she froze.
Yeah, I think you froze. Huh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well,
we were almost there. We only had 2 more questions.
let me do the chat box.
Okay. Oh, she's gone.
All right, hopefully she'll come back. Hey there. Hey, Yaya, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. We lost power.
Oh, is that right? Oh, shoot. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Elizabeth is just coming back. Okay, so the question that we left off with was, do you have any summer plans or anything that you're hoping to do this summer?
I think one of the main things is just...
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't hit record on my actual podcast recorder. Okay.
Do you want me to re-ask the question?
Well, you can just hit me. Yeah, go ahead. Repeat it. That's fine.
Okay. Although the virus has thrown us a curve, and we know that you're done filming and you know that we're done with school, what do you guys have planned for the summer?
Well, I think because of this, we don't have too much planned, but I am hoping to take a few trips to see family members and friends in different states.
Okay.
Now, yesterday I noticed on Facebook that you released a video with your ukulele, right?
Yes, right here.
Now, was it an original song that you did, or do you write your own music? Tell us about your music.
Well, that was not an original song, but I do write some of my own music.
Very nice.
And where do you come up with your ideas?
Well, I kind of want to say my heart, but that sounds kind of cheesy. But I usually write my songs for friends and family members. I wrote one specific song for my manager's baby that she had recently. And I also wrote a song for Julian, my dad on the show. So just if I want to tell somebody something that I can't really tell them in person because I don't really have the words, I just do it through a song and it helps me release my emotions.
Nice. Now, before we let you go, tell us where we can find you on social media.
Oh, okay. So you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Yaya Gosselin.
Nice.
Awesome. Anything else happening that you want to tell everybody about, or something we didn't ask you that you wished we would have?
I don't think so. I just think the main thing is I hope that everybody is staying safe and healthy.
Awesome. Well, Yaya, thanks so much for taking time to talk with us, and we wish
Thank
you
you so
well in
much
your
for having
career.
me.
You bet.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for
Thank you
calling
so
us
much.
back, too. We were like, oh, how are we going to get a hold of you now? So we appreciate it. Enjoy your day.